Okay, so a man wrote to the Washington Post saying he and his girlfriend are apartment hunting, but his girlfriend makes less money than him and can't afford to split the rent 50-50. He says her biggest monthly expenses are hundreds of dollars for takeout and shopping, and thinks she should adjust her budget to afford half of the cost of housing. So what do you think in this situation, Jamar? Should the split be 50-50?
Based on the story this man has told, she technically can afford it. The conversation now, and this is time to put on our big boy pants and have big conversations with our partner. Do you mind adjusting your budget to help me with this part of the rent? Or would you rather a smaller apartment or a bigger closet? Like, what's the split here? And then he has to live with what she says. But I also feel like in cohabitation situations, there is no 50-50. It's all house money. Like,
you put it into a pool? Is that what you mean? Like,
even if you don't put it in, it is what it is. Like, you live together. Like, right now, when I buy a gift for my wife, I swipe the credit card, she gets the notification on her phone like when I bought it.
Okay.
Like, it's like,
right.
Is it really a gift? It's like all of our money, you know?
It's all of your money. Okay, but you guys are you have a child, or you're in a serious, like a very serious situation.
Absolutely.
You're making faces over there.
Listen, I'm doing my best. You see my hands underneath the table? This man rubbed me the wrong way in a, okay, first of all, don't talk to me about 50-50 unless we're making the same amount of money. Right on. It's ridiculous for you to know, and we don't know how much of a discrepancy there is. Suppose he's making $4 million and she's making $150,000. That's a huge discrepancy. And I also don't like that this idea that it feels like a little control freakish, because it's like, well, you could afford it if you'd stop spending money on all those frivolous things like, you know, your makeup and your hair and all that.
Okay, but wait.
We work out so that we can have a balance in life. I'm not just working to pay rent and make payments. I also want to go out and have a good time and hang out with my friends and buy a little lip gloss. Yeah. And I shouldn't have to give those things up so I can be house poor. So great, I can afford it, and I'll take all my money and put it towards rent, which don't even get me started about that.
But it's like, is it worth the conversation?
But
what do you think?
I have no balance.
Do you think it's worth the conversation?
I think it's worth the conversation. Yeah. And if I were her, I'd be like, I think your problem is you need to date a girl who's in your tax bracket. Yeah. Because you are a bean counter and you want everything to be fair, but it's not fair if I make less. So go find that girl and have a nice life.
Well, I think it's a bigger conversation. Yeah, could be money. But we know a lot of people who have pay discrepancies get along very, very well in relationships. So is this about the money, or is it something deeper? Maybe it is power. Maybe it's that their goals don't align. Maybe that it's very clear 40 to 50% of relationships end because of money.
Yeah.
And that could be people making different amounts, but I think their goals don't align, because he's asking her to make sacrifices, because he says, because I don't want to live in a smaller apartment. Well then why is only one side making a sacrifice and not the other? So it's a power thing, it's a relationship
assuming the worst
thing.
of this guy.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It usually happens.
Honestly, for all the things that we're assuming the best of her, we also can possibly put the lens on and be like, maybe this guy actually just by nature is a saver. Maybe he's the one who wants to cook, all the meals. We don't know actually anything.
Well, we do know.
I think it's a great opportunity to have a good. I mean, when you are married, you have to have these conversations. They're not even married yet. I mean, this is a good test run.
He has said in the article. He said specifically, I do not want to become financially responsible for her.
Listen, I'll say this.
Rub me the wrong way. This is what I'm talking about.
I'm going to just say this out loud. I know somebody whose son is in a relationship right now, and she's deeply concerned about this exact thing. Like, this is something where, at a certain phase in life, you don't necessarily want to become financially responsible for someone else. It's okay. You're right. The best thing I think we can all agree on is that they're having these conversations now. Because if they cannot agree on how to spend their money and how to separate things now, they are never going to make it.
It doesn't sound like a conversation to me. It sounds like he is assessing, he knows how much money she makes, and he's telling her, this is what you need to do in order for me to go into this this lease with you. And I'll say this much, if he's really concerned about the finances, well, what's her debt? We don't know.
We don't know anything.
You should be more concerned about that. You're talking about rent. If she's paying all of her bills and she doesn't have any debt and her credit score is great, why are you harassing her? This is something where I think, again, he sounds like a bean counter who's being very controlling about, like, you need to stop spending money on these things so that I can live the way I want to, and we make sure it's right down the center. And as you said, nothing's ever 50-50. So already I think it's a red flag.
Listen.
Red flag.
Listen. You don't buy the milk if you're not going to buy the cow. That's what the old folks would say.
What does that mean?
Where are we going, Jamar?
Jamar, you better dig your way out of this one, my friend.
Let him explain.
Who's the cow here? Who is the cow in this situation?
The relationship The relationship is the milk, and the marriage is the cow.
Okay.
They need to get
That was
married.
close.
They need to get married.
You know
They
what?
do not need to get married.
Because I mean, these cohabitation situations they're roommates.
I
They're-
agree with
They're
you.
acting like roommates.
Yeah.
Okay, all
He's
right.
staying
These
in
are-
his house and she should stay in hers.
That's what I'm saying.
I-
Like they're doing something that they're probably not ready for. Like I said, my house is all house money. Like no matter how much money I spend, no matter how much money she spends on groceries, that's our money.
I love that for
It's
her.
There's even the
house money.
perspective.
I love that for her.
Like
But there
it's not
is-
my money, it's our money.
Sure, it is our money, but
Yeah.
I think it's the spirit with which you say that. It
Yeah.
doesn't sound like he's coming to the table with the spirit.
They're not
of,
ready.
We are a partnership.
Yeah.
Whoever makes more money in my household.
That's what
the
I'm
idea
saying.
is, if I do make more or if he makes more, we both benefit.
Yeah.
This guy looks like he is drawing lines in the sand, and they've only been together for a year and a half. This
Maybe
is
he's
doomed.
had a bad experience with someone trying to get
And
his
then he
money.
should go to
We
therapy
don't
and fix
know.
that.
He's about to have another
He should
one.
go to
I just
therapy
don't
and
want
fix
this
that.
to be all about like he's the worst person ever. I think that we have to start to think like there are two sides to every story, and it sounds like this story should not
We're not
continue.
saying he's a bad person. We're just saying that he sounds like he's a tightwad who's counting every
No,
penny.
tightwad is hard. I mean,
God.
in this economy, a guy like him actually is frugal.
Thank you.
Interesting.
You're being PC about it, but
Okay.
okay, we're gonna leave it there.
Well, this was fun to have your perspective on the show today, Jamar. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
So you can catch Josie and Jamar weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on Toronto's Chum 104.5.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.